What up, what up, what up? Let's go, baby. I haven't been up here in so long. Wadata. Wadata. Two. If anybody wants these 39 Bo Jacksons for $4.99, two of them won't grade. That one's got a little line and that one's got a line. But there's going to be some 10s in there, I'm sure. 8s, 9s, 10s. I bought them in a group. I thought about sending them off, but I don't feel like waiting. $4.99.95. Yeah, the 3.5 million is crazy, but we're going to talk about some positive stuff. That's craziness. And that's a perfect example. First of all, Steve Hart is the most well-respected card authenticator on the planet. And let me just tell you something that's a stone cold fact. I sold a card for $34,000 and Beckett said it was fake. Beckett said it was fake. I literally go back. I talked to two people that know more than fucking any grader that works at Beckett, right? And they say, Nate, you're right, it's good. I'm like, look, this collection came from this era. The fakes didn't come out until 2014. It's mathematically impossible. They're like, dude, it's good. The autograph is good. So I tell the customer, I'll give you your money back if you send it to PSA, no problem. And they say it's no good. Guess what? They send it to PSA and it's fucking good. So my point is, even though somebody might be like, we're talking about Beckett fucking grading. They're trying to ruin a small business owner's reputation by being, as far as I'm concerned, thieves. Just because they're not capable of grading something, they charge you and send it back and tell you it's no good when it is good. That is theft by deception as far as I'm concerned. If you're not capable of doing it, don't charge somebody not to do it. Say, hey, we don't grade the Tom Brady anymore. We don't know. The reason is he signed a lot of the playoff contenders. He was a 6th-round pick. His handwriting got sloppy later in the signing, so they can't really, for whatever reason, Beckett is not good at telling whether it's real or not. But when you buy a Tom Brady contenders rookie and every single card in this 10,000 cards is from 1997 to 2006, it's mathematically impossible that this card is fake. It did not happen. And I'm telling you, stop listening to everybody who's a know-it-all. Nobody knows it all, including Steve Hart, including Beckett, including me. I had to go to someone else. It wasn't like I looked at the card. I knew the province of the card. I knew the deal. I was 98% sure, but the other guys gave me the other 2%. They're like, it's real. It's real. That's all there is to it. Don't have anything else to tell you other than that, Nate. They're charging people. Whatever they charge for that, it's fucking, dude, it's bullshit, man. But anyway, I didn't even mean to go down that road. But of course it was real. Of course it was graded. But be careful, when people when you put your name on something and the consensus is that you can build a reputation for 30 years and blow it in 30 seconds over a few bucks. I'll never do that. Anybody who knows me personally knows that I would never sell a card that I thought was fake. It's I would be a fucking moron where I sit to do that. But it happens in our industry all the time. And it blows me away, but a lot of times people's character, their talent will take them places that their character can't keep them. I've seen it time and time again. I've seen plenty of people with the talent, but they're sellouts when it comes to cheating. Anyway, I didn't mean to get into all that, but my point is it started with the baseball card exchange. I trust Steve Hart 99.999999999. I have an 86, 87 Fleer box that he says is legit. I paid 100% because he said it's real. I believe he's right. I'm not really interested in Steve's opinion on coins, stamps, or even Pokemon. I'm just not. I'm not going to be sending, but with that said, he's he's about as the most honest guy you'll ever find in this industry. So it's where he made a mistake. There's a difference between making a mistake and trying to mislead someone. And I'm telling you, whenever it comes to money, this industry has changed so much in the last 5 years. We're going to talk about something that was before this big boom. And now with this kind of money in it, you're going to have people trying to hustle you. If something seems too good to be true, it typically is. I think that case sold for like $70,000 or $80,000. Keep that in mind. I'm not saying, listen, I'm saying you're your own captain of your own ship, right? If I tell you it's good and you know me well enough, I believe it's good, but that doesn't mean I'm perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, man. So, what I wanted to talk to you about was I think it's important to try to inspire folks, to try to explain things, the real deal, so people can do whatever they want with the information. And this is something that was on my mind the last day or two, and I was like, man, I need to speak to the customers about this and let them realize, hey, it doesn't happen the first time, but it does happen. And what I wanted to talk to you about was really how this store was born. And it was in August of 2016. But I want to back up to March 2016. March 2016, I was doing the same thing that I did a lot of times on the weekend. I was leaving my family for the weekend, driving up to a 3-day show in Cincinnati. And whenever I go to like a show in Cincinnati or Louisville or wherever, I was always trying to find spots to stop along the way. You know, you would stop at a card shop and I might be able to carve out a $500 profit or a $1,000 profit, $200 profit, whatever it is. I was just trying to put food on the table, right? Food on the table and chasing my dream to own a store. That's it. That's what I was doing that morning. So that morning, I'm on my way up to Cincinnati. I call a dude named Gordon in Louisville. He owns a card shop. Great dude. I wouldn't call him a baseball card savant. It was a hotbed for very intelligent card people in that area. You had Justin, you had Jaron, you had Warren, you had Lane. If you were going to get something at his store, it was going to have to be luck. And this, it was before the store opened. And it was because I made this one phone call. I called him up. It was early. The store was not open yet. I said, hey, Gordon, have you gotten anything new in? And he said, man, I got 2 Jordan rookies in. Well, first of all, I'm not even sure Gordon is qualified to say whether Jordan rookie's real or not. At that time, I needed to go to the pawn shop next door, get a loop, borrow a loop just to make sure. So this was back then. He said, I just got 2 Jordans in, man. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. All right. I said, I'm rolling through it like 9:30 in the morning. He didn't open till 10 or 11. I'm like, can we meet then? I know that if I wait for those doors to open, there's other eBay, I guess you call them, small business owners, call them whatever you want, that might come in. They might mess up the deal. They might offer more. Try to get it where you're the only person in the room. If there's 300 people, if there's 300 fucking people in the show and you're with 1 in 300, you ain't got nothing. What advantage do you have over the next guy getting a good deal? But if you're at a card shop an hour and a half before it opens and you're the only guy in there with old Gordo, you have a few advantages over the other guys. I walk in and I see the cards and I think to myself, this has got to be fake. It was just centered. It was dead centered. I pull it out. I think the other one was raw too. They both were raw. And remind me to tell you how nobody's perfect either. Always remember this too. So I make the detour. I go to Louisville and pull in, get there. The card is perfect to me. When I say perfect, could I see flaws? Yes, I can see flaws on any card except a glass card. I can find something on a card. There was a little imperfection in the surface. I thought it would 9.5. I thought it would 9. I thought outside chance of a 9.5. So we work out the deal. I take the card, walk over to the pawn shop, get the loop. The card is good. I come back, I pay him. I literally print out the Beckett sheet at his store. Me and him are cool. He's a cool dude. Fill it out, take it to the Louisville post office, overnight it. All before the store opened, man. And I don't want you to think that that was some fluky, lucky thing. I may have made that call to him 20 shows before and ended up with nothing, or ended up with 200, or ended up with 500. But I made the call. The extra mile is where it's at, yo. Anybody can show up. And I told my son was carrying on shit today. I was trying to tell him, if you want to be a Burns, you got to act like a Burns. Said, if you're not up by 8, you're a chump. Like, there's no nut draggers waking up at 8. Like, get up and go to work. Like, that's the deal. And you should just admit it and enjoy life. Smoke some weed, pop some pill, whatever it is you do at 9:30 or 10 or 11 or 2 in the morning or whatever. Me and you aren't going to be hanging out. No hard feelings. You may be a great person, but what I'm saying is it's that extra step. I went to that show. I sold for me at that time. I probably sold $8,000 or $10,000 that weekend. Rolled back Sunday. Card arrived on Monday. Tuesday, at that time, from all my grinding, between the cards that I had and the cash that I had, I probably had about $25,000. I'm having to pay my part of the bills, everything, just from straight cards at this point, pretty much. I was doing some real estate, but I did not like it. And I'll never forget waiting for that grade to pop. And if you know anything about the Beckett website, you can refresh it and you'll see it moving along, and you'll know that it's about to pop. It'll back then in particular, I don't really follow it as much now. I got other things to do. But back then I would hit refresh. And it's funny. Give me 1 second, dude. I can remember the bed. I was laying on one of the twins' beds. There were twin beds. I was upstairs watching ESPN. It was about 5 o'clock. I'm literally hitting refresh. Boom. And it pops up. And if you know anything about it, you can click on it, and then the centering is first. And then it goes down. Well, centering was a 9.5. 9.5. And so I scroll down, and it's 9.5, 9.5, 9.5, 9. I think that's right. Or it was 9. No, it was 9.5. 9.5, 9.5, 9.5, 9. Boom. I remember it was my first. I had never even submitted a Jordan rookie and gotten a 9. I've probably submitted 20 of them before that. I busted multiple packs. I hit 8s, 8.5s. I could not hit a 9. I was in the same box of a guy that hit a 9.5 in Chicago 20 years ago, and the other guy hit a 9. I hit a 8.5. So I'd always been tinkering around with it. So it wasn't like my moment didn't come in 2000 in Chicago. My number didn't get called in Chicago. I wasn't prepared for it then. I would have blown the fucking money. It came then. It came in March of 2016. And it was a gem mint. And all I knew was that was it. That I thought with that amount of money, that would push me over the edge. My friend in Louisville, Alex, was telling me, man, you need at least 50,000, period. Some people were telling me you needed 100. Some people you need blah, blah, blah. And I just decided, well, we're going to do it with about 33, 35 and see what happens. And I remember I got it. There's still a picture. If I ever find that actual card again, I have the serial number. I will overpay for it because it's I get chills. I get chills because it's my journey full circle. If I can ever get that actual card back. And the reason I tell you all this, it isn't because I'm telling you it, because what's really important isn't the dream. It isn't setting up at a card show. It was already a bunch of bullshit, packing your shit up, leaving your family for a week, going 3 days up there to stay with your dad and his skeezy person who makes you feel uncomfortable. There was all this bullshit already. But it was that one phone call. And that wasn't the only phone call I made. I made a couple others on that trip, but that was it. Everybody wants to know, well, what, how do you do this? How do you do that? That's it. If you have the juice in whatever you do in life, I don't give a shit if you're a computer analyst I don't give a shit if you're a baseball card dealer. Don't care if you make pies, you mow yards, whatever. If you have the juice to make that phone call an hour and a half before they open just to see, you can do exactly what we've done and more. There's people out there 1,000 times more successful than us. We were nothing special. But that's the truth. That's what it was. When I got that car back, I sent it to PWCC. It went for $8,800. It took forever to get paid. The store was literally being built out as the car. I still hadn't been paid. That was like the last of the money that I got, and I needed it. And that's, everybody says how to get started. I mean, it got started when my brother came home, when I came home at 7, and I had something that my 12-year-old brother wanted. And the first time I stopped into a card shop, and I met EGAD, and I realized a grown-up could make a living doing this. I didn't know you could own it. I just thought it was a job. I'm 7. But the final straw was being willing to do the shit that some other people won't do. And sometimes you're going to win and sometimes you're going to lose, man. Celebrate the dude who beat you to a deal, man. Don't be a fucking hater, man. I see so many people in this industry, locally and nationwide, man. They'll be hating on somebody who the honest truth is they beat us to the punch. I have no ill feelings towards anybody who outworks me. Respect. You know, if you're going around lying and, you know, saying things about me that aren't true, that's a different story. But man, you know, it's hard work. It's not bullshit. It's not luck. It's being willing to go that extra mile. And that's what I mean by that, is whatever it is in your industry. You know, I can tell you that now looking back. I couldn't tell you all this then. You know, like no lake days, it's just not true anymore for me. I'm building a lake house. You know, like I used to say that and I believe that. I still work hard, but like, fuck, what are we doing all this for? What are you breaking your back for? You know, like, you know, at the end of the day, there are going to be some lake days for me. You know, I love what I do. I love the thrill of the chase, man. I love making that phone call. I love going to big shows. But the big shows are where you're going to network and meet people like me and other people that you'd be stunned at how many people can help you in your business at those shows. But if you think you're going to go walk up and knock somebody over the head and make a bunch of money, man, good luck. You're probably just going to be like a dude we don't like around here we call Robert, that just is an irritant. You know what I'm saying? So think that over, man. You can fool other people, but at the end of the day, you really can't fool yourself. I was doing that because it was what I loved. It wasn't because I was trying to open a store. It was like, that's just how I'm built. Like, I want to call. You know, it's the best phone call I've ever made on the way to a show. I can still remember the car. I mean, I remember a lot about that. I remember selling it, doing what you got to do. You know, people will say, that's another thing to think about. I sold that car for $8,800. That car's peaked at $100,000. People would say I'm stupid. There's idiots out there that'll tell you that Nate was stupid for selling that for $8,800. Fucking idiot, man. Don't know what you're talking about as usual. You're somebody that's blowing smoke, don't know anything, hadn't accomplished anything. It's not true. It's the best sale I ever made. It's the best sale I've ever made. Better than the Kobe's for $450. Better than the Mahomes for $175. It's the truth. It literally got me, it released the shackles of real estate. It helped me change into who I am now. Like, I am not who I was back then. I was unhappy. It's the best sale I ever made. It gave me enough, like, fuck it, let's see what happens. And so stop looking at that, you know, how much a card goes up or how much a card goes down. What did you do with that money? If I took that $8,800 and I spent it on strippers and cocaine, yeah, I'm stupid. I built Grand Slam Collectibles, baby. We are nationwide. Let's go. I should have, man, best sale I've ever made. It just is. All right. That's it. I wanted to go over that while it was on my mind and in my heart. That's all that matters to me now, man. I love selling cards to you guys. I love being a part of this. Um, but for me, I'm more trying to help other people. I'm trying to reach down and grab other people from whatever industry. I'm not trying to make a bunch of competition for me that's going to stomp the life out of me down the road. But if that's the way it goes, that means I'm weak and I wasn't I wasn't prepared. Um, I'm trying to find somebody that's having a dark moment and has forgotten that you can have dark moments, but you can find your way, and it won't happen with this big thunderous boom. It'll happen, and then years later, you'll be able to look back and say, damn, that was the moment. That was the moment when I decided to sell something I really didn't want to sell. It was it was like my crown jewel achievement of what I had done. Oh, yeah. It's not all about you, man. That was a God thing. Honest to goodness. I didn't do anything. All I did was use the gifts that God had given me to finagle a Jordan from somebody that wasn't quite willing to take the risks of shipping it off, getting it graded, etc. For real, that's as real as I can be. I hope y'all have a great day. I hope you have a great week. I'm back. I'm ready to rock and roll. It's the Michael Jordan 86-87 Fleer BGS 95. Extra mile, extra step. A lot of the good stuff, is when nobody's around. Before this shit happened, like with the videos and stuff, the real work was getting done when nobody was around. Being up here till 2 a.m. at the old store, just working your heart out, just trying to find a way, like whatever it takes, man. I had tricked myself into believing this was my last chance. It wasn't true, but I promise you that's what I believed. I'm glad I did. It made me go at another level. I'm rooting for you. Anything I can do for you, for real. There's plenty of dealers that I've helped. If you're cool to me, man, I'll be cool to you. If you haven't been cool to me, don't hit me up. I'm going to tell you straight up. No hard feelings. I'm trying to harbor less ill will, but that doesn't mean you give people more chances. People typically show you who they are, and then you decide if you want to fuck with them or not. And if I haven't wanted to fuck with you in the past, that means I don't want to fuck with you now either. So it is what it is. Boom! Yeah, we'll be busting cards soon. I'm back. Rookie is healing up. Go do something big, man. Go do something big. Yeah, I've got superlative hockey. Anything else going on? I mean, the older cards, Tony. I'm talking UFC, like the top stuff from 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. I'm not saying go buy Immaculate, go buy Prism. I'm not saying those won't select. I think some of that too. I think some of the vintage stuff, not vintage, but older stuff, that there's not a lot of it. There wasn't a crazy demand for it, so they didn't make a lot of it. So if you can get like the John Jones autographs and things like that, the big hitters, the big names, I believe UFC will be as big as like baseball, football, basketball one day, maybe in our lifetime. It'll all depend how CTE works out. Like football is already, people are giving themselves brain damage. UFC's multiplied out. So I don't know how that will affect it. I don't know if they'll change it, but it has got a huge following now, and I believe in Dana White. I thought he might lose some of his gusto once he sold. He hasn't. He's the same, he's the same ornery nut dragger that he was before. I respect that. He's got more money than he knows what to do. It's not about the money. It's about promoting the sport and being the best promoter and, all those things. And I respect that. So I think UFC is a huge, huge investment for folks. But that's just me, man. I'm going to start buying a few of them. I have the John Jones rookie auto. I'm going to probably buy a couple of the big rookie autos and just keep them. My thoughts on BBC doesn't change at all. Just me personally. And in fairness, this isn't a topic that you should really listen to me about because I'm invested in Baseball Card Exchange because of their 86-87 Fleer box that they've authenticated with me. The difference between my product and a case is he opened the box and he's able to tell that my box is identical to the way it was in 1986. He knows that information, and I know it's real. So it's not really fair for someone who has a vested interest in Baseball Card Exchange's reputation spouting off about it. I'll tell you that Steve Hart, I can't think of anybody in our industry that I trust more. I may trust some as equally as him. Nothing against him. It's just like somebody coming in here asking me to grade their American Eagle. Like, I love coins, but it's not me, you know? So as far as that goes, I think, unfortunately for Steve, people will run him through the mud over it, but I think you're paying for people's opinion. I promise you this. I swear on my life this is true. There is more fake baseball, football, and basketball cards in PSA, Beckett, and SGC holders than there will ever be Baseball Card Exchange wrapped counterfeits. I would say the likelihood of a Baseball Card Exchange, something not being real, is minuscule. Beckett last week charged a customer of mine to tell me that a real card was fake. So I'm not ragging on Beckett. We're paying for their opinion, right? Like, we're paying for their opinion. It's at the end of the day, it's just their opinion. You know, I'm telling you, a lot of the Tom Brady's that are in holders are not authentic. I'm telling you that. It's not my opinion, it's a fact. 2014, they got out. I don't want to get into all that. There's some that they didn't catch, period, that are in real holders. So just because you buy a card with a little plastic holder around it that says PSA or Beckett doesn't mean it's real. You know, it's just the truth. At the end of the day, keep in mind that everybody in this industry can make. I've made mistakes. I'm not good at when people professionally trim a card. I mean, if they take a razor blade or a pair of scissors, I can spot that, but I'm not good at telling when a card has been shaved just a hair on somewhere. That's not my thing. So when people say, is this trimmed? It's like, man, I don't know. You know, I'm just, a dumb old baseball card shop owner trying to make a living. I don't get paid. People say, why don't you open a grading card company? I bet a dozen people have asked me that because I'm not qualified to. That's why. The only person out there that should be opening up a card grading service that's not open already is Joe fucking Orlando. If Joe Orlando wanted to open up a grading card company, I would back it. I would help pay. I would go partners with Joe Orlando. I trust Joe Orlando as much as I trust the other guys that I talked about earlier as far as grading goes. These people that are grading fake cards and putting them in their holders and slapping kaboomy wham on them, and I'm telling you, the other foot's going to drop. If you're holding that shit, your card value is going to tank. You're going to be cracking it out of the holder. This is just history repeating itself, fellas. A lot of us have seen this. If you've been doing this since the 90s, you've already seen these companies. Now, these companies are more legit, and they're trying to be more legit, but they don't have the expertise to do it. I'm telling you. It takes, I don't even know if PSA or Beckett could train me enough to be a grader. Like, first of all, I don't want to sit and look at cards all day. That's not who I am. But it's something that takes an extreme amount of knowledge and patience, and most people don't have that. They might have the patience. They might even have the knowledge, but they don't have the patience. But, man, I'm telling you, once a few cards get out there that are fake in those holders, man, people flip out. Joe Orlando was the CEO of PSA for many, many years. 25? Yeah, 25 years. Nat Turner, whatever I don't know what his name is. He's a rich guy who bought PSA and became the CEO and sent Joe down the road, apparently. He's a collector just like us. you know, I think I'm not going to get into all that. At the end of the day, if you find Joe Orlando and he's wanting to open up uh, Joe Orlando Sports Authenticators or something, I'm serious. I'll put serious money into that, but that's the only way. That dude knows what's up. Is there super? Nah, Jeff. Let me just make sure there's nobody out there for me. No. Okay. What is it, Jeff, you want me to open real quick? Is Superlative Hockey on the site? Yep. The only Chris, I haven't done any golden nugget, gold mine. I've had COVID for the last I had COVID for 9 days, so I've just taken it easy right now. I'd say in the next week or two, you're going to start seeing some of our stuff pop up. We have tons of John Morant's and things that I've saved. It's probably time to put some of those on the site, things like that. All right, Jeff, just order them and I'll bust them. 2 boxes of Superlative Hockey. Hey, Sleeve, do we have Superlative Hockey out here? Yeah, got 2 boxes. Hey, I didn't know you were here. Yeah, I'm live. Woo, woo, woo! Sold our first house, nation. We literally partnered with a builder. They just brought the check by. They built it. We bought it. They sold it. Boom. All right. Yeah, we list singles on the site. Jeff, did you buy them? Yeah. I think Jeff's buying them. I want to make sure he's on there. I don't even know how much this stuff is. It came in when I was gone. Jeff Bush, are you here? Here we go. Box 1. Make sure Jeff is on here. Okay, yeah, he's buying it on the site. All right, here we go. Box number 1. Okay. Oh, this is my first. I'm double vaxxed and boosted. Vic Hadfield, Ron DeGuy, and Ron Greschner to 20. Dang. A 19 of 20. Fix this up. Yep, sold our first house. That's pretty badass. Pretty excited, actually. Damn, this is badass, too. How much is this a box? How much is this a box? Caw. Cheevers, Smith, Esposito, Gillis, Ed Giacomin, Ken Dryden, Gilbert, Parent, 22 of 25. Brodeur, Waugh, Joseph, Van Beesbrook, Hasek, Belfour, Potvin, and Richter. Man, these are nice. The facts don't work. Yeah, man. Last thing I want to do is debate with people who say it doesn't work. Save me a lot of headaches. But I think they should call it antibodies. But whatever. I'll talk about that stupid shit, man. Find something else to do. Yeah, I'm glad to be done. Cool. What the hell? Sittler to 7. Sensational swatch. Dang. Salming. Who's that? Looks like one of them boys from the OEK, USA team. His name is not American. Gretzky, Kobe Bryant, good grief, Muhammad Ali, Nicholas, Mantle, and Brady. Golly, 3 of 9. Woo! How much is stuff a box? I literally don't know if it's like 200, 500, 1,000. How much is it a box? Did he? Okay, so 200 and something, like 220. That's a 219. Golly. All right, nation. My first break of the year. Literally 13 fucking days. I'll show y'all, man. We about ready to get up. The big boys, like, we coming. We're just holding the line right now. We'll catch y'all tomorrow. Y'all stay up, man, for real. Deuces. Let me see if I can get this turned off.